Hey everybody, thanks for being with us live today on CTR.Mobi. Real quickly, just to give you a little cap of what's going to be going on today, we're going to jump into my computer and we're going to go through about a decade's worth of case studies that prove once and for all that your site's click-through rate and your site's Google search ranking walk hand in hand. For so long, Google's been saying that your site's search ranking and your site's click-through rate do not correlate, but we have exclusive information that proves otherwise. So if you want to learn how to get your site to rank number one, stick with us as we jump into the computer and go through all the different information that proves to you once and for all that your click-through rate matters, and that your click-through rate matters if you want a high ranking. So thanks for being with us today live on Click-Through Rate Mobi, CTR.Mobi, and I hope that you stick with us throughout the entire presentation so that you can learn what information you need so that your 2018 rankings can be greater than your 2017 rankings. Thanks for being with us, and stick with us as we jump into the computer.
Alright, so here we are in the computer where bad things don't happen, I swear. We're going to be looking real quickly through my article called What is a Good Click-Through Rate and Why Should I Care? Because it's going to have all the information that I was talking about in the intro. So let's quickly go through here, and this is it here. This is the site. This is CTR.Mobi, and this is the article here. As you can see, I have a nice little breadcrumbs and everything. Alright, so first things first, what is a site's CTR? What is a site's click-through rate? Funny thing is, when you decide to get to the nitty-gritty and learn what is considered the click-through rate of any given site, you quickly find that everyone has a different answer. Some answers are very different, and some vary by only a little. But one thing is for sure, it's important to see what the true authorities on the matter say. So let's quickly go through how the top three authorities on click-through rate, WordStream, Google AdWords, and Wikipedia all define the term. First, we'll start with WordStream's definition. WordStream has done a lot for me. They have a lot of good information. You should definitely check out their site. And they define click-through rate this way. In internet marketing, CTR stands for click-through rate, a metric that measures the number of clicks advertisers receive on their ads per number of impressions. Achieving a high click-through rate is essential to your PPC success because it directly affects both your quality score and how much you pay every time someone clicks your search ad. Are your click-through rates holding you back, or are they high enough? In this CTR tutorial, you'll learn, and then they have what you'll learn in their tutorial, which is a good tutorial to take, honestly. And then next up, we have Google AdWords definition of click-through rate. Click-through rate is a ratio showing how often people who see your ad end up clicking on it. Click-through rate can be used to gauge how well your keywords and ads are performing. CTR is the number of clicks that your ad receives divided by the number of times your ad is shown. So clicks divided by impressions equals CTR. And then if you scroll down a little bit, it says a high CTR is a good indication that users find your ads helpful and relevant. CTR also contributes to your keywords expected CTR. A component of quality score. Again, there's a repetition of the quality score and how much it means. As we scroll down here, we're going to look finally at Wikipedia's definition of click-through rate. Click-through rate is the ratio of users who click on a specific link to the number of total users who view a page, email, or advertisement. It is commonly used to measure the success of an online advertising campaign for a particular website, as well as the effectiveness of email campaigns. Click-through rates for ad campaigns vary tremendously. The very first online display ad shown for AT&T on the website Hotwired in 1994 had a 44% click-through rate. Over time, the overall rate users click on the web page banner ads has decreased. Alright, so when we say click-through rate, we can say one thing for certain. Click-through rating should be defined this way because this is the same way that all three of them define it. Number of clicks divided by number of impressions. Alright, so you may be thinking, okay, why does click-through rate matter for me though? And that's a great question. The reason why click-through rates matter for you is a two-part answer. One, you may be the average web surfer. In that case, CTR really doesn't matter too much at all, actually. unless you plan on monetizing one of your own personal websites or building an e-commerce site or anything like that. The second part of the answer is this: click-through ratings matter more than most people think if you're a digital marketer. The why they matter may shock you. But first, have you ever seen the very first banner ad? The very first one was for AT&T, and it hit the web October 27th, 1994. In 2004, AdLand celebrated the Pioneer's 10th anniversary. You can see the banner below, and there it is. Have you ever clicked your mouse right here? You will, with a little arrow. It's kind of interesting. Courtesy of Mashable. It's very interesting to see the very first one, but to think that that was like a big deal shit at one time is crazy. That's courtesy of Mashable. That very first AT&T banner had a remarkable click-through rating of 44%, which is not the standard by any means today, but it did get me wondering if clicks mattered in the terms of rank. And it did. This is when I found this out, it's why I started wondering if it mattered in terms of rank, which is part of the why digital marketers have another reason to care about these much. So I dug up the very first study that was done. So I looked up the very first study that had been done on the rank versus rate theory way back in 2006 by AOL. Studies on CTR 2006 through September 2017. AOL studied 20 million queries that were made by 500,000 users in Google search way back in 2006. RedCardinal.ie published those findings, and you can see what was discovered below. And here's the image from RedCardinal.ie. As you can see, the number one rating in 2006 had a 42% click-through rate, which isn't that much different than the AT&T banner ad. Number 2 rating had 11.9, and then all the way down to number 10, which had just under 3%. But nothing in the top 10 under too much further under 3%. And yes, there's other perspectives and skeptics, of course, but when it comes down to the facts, here's the latest information. So that was way back in 2006, and we're going to take a look at what the latest information says in September 2017, brought to us by AdvancedWebRanking.com. Advanced Web Ranking shows that sites CTR could be well under and close to 0% if you were within the top 20. Now, once you get to the top 7 or so, you're going to need to be a lot closer to 5%. The top 5, you need to be at 5% click-through rate. If you want to hit number 4, you're above 5%. If you want to hit all the way as high as number 1 on your mobile phone, your click-through rate needs to be around 23.43%, because that's the click-through rate of the, on average, of the number 1 rankings. And the desktop position, because desktop click-through rates are so much higher than mobile click-through rates, your desktop click-through rate needs to be 33.55% if you want the number 1 rank. That's, needless to say, many of our sites fall under that. So, and again, needless to say, what was uncovered is somewhat shocking at first. When you think about it, though, and remember what people like search rank engineer Paul Hare said through one of his infamous slide shares, it's really not surprising that click per page directly correlates with ranks. Here's what he said on slide number 30 of his 69 slide presentation on SlideShare titled How Google Works, a Ranking Engineer's Perspective by Paul Hare. And remember, Paul Hare is a ranking engineer for Google, and he's been there for some 15 years. He's there as of today. On his 30th page, on his 30th slide, it says, Interpreting Live Experiments. Both pages P1, so page 1, and page 2, answer users' needs. For page 1, the answer is on the page. For page 2, the answer is on the page and in the snippet. Algorithm A puts page 1 before page 2. User clicks on page 1. User clicks on page 1. Good. Algorithm B puts page 2 before page 1. No clicks. Bad. So, just to sum up what Paul Hare says here, and I quote, user clicks on page 1, good, no click, bad. That's what Paul Hare had to say, and I think that's the most telling of all. If you went and looked at the actual source, you would know what I added for emphasis on that image there. The boxes, obviously. I will point out that it's not that hard to guess either. I believe this evidence is the most telling of all the evidence that was shown, and the fact that it comes from a Google rank engineer is the nail in the coffin, if you will, for me. Putting the query, does click-through rate affect rank, to bed for good for me. So now you know the why your site rank matters. But your sites aren't even close to 23 or 33% click-through rate, are they? How can you get your ratings up that high? That's the next question. How can we get our ratings that high? Would you like to learn the top 6 tried and true bullets guaranteed to get your CTI scores? Guaranteed to get you the CTI scores you need to rank well? Discover these 6 bullets to redefine your site's overall click-through rates and set new heights for your pages in terms of rank. Right now, all you need is your email below, and you'll have the times 6 clicks PDF delivered directly to your mailbox within seconds. The only problem is this: the PDF will not be free for very long. So go ahead and click on the button and enter your email and get the times 6 clicks PDF on your site right now before you miss it for free. Alright, and that is going to do it for this live reading of why your CTR is important in the part 2 of our 2-part live series on click-through rate here at CTR.mobi.